This is stitched steel, which I can't reach. It's another, and I mean this genuinely, it's a lovely day here in North Yorkshire. And today we're working on the Rough Rover. We've got two jobs to do. We're going to do the front brake pads and the rear brake pads. So let's begin. Okay, so here we go. We're going to take these brake pads off, put some new ones on. First thing we have to do is get that so you can hopefully see it. So on the back of the caliper there's two rubber covered fixings, one here, one below. They've got a end cap on them, and you have to get the end cap out like that, and then in there is the fixing. So let's just get the other one out, and then we'll hit the pair of them. Hopefully you can see that okay. You can probably see it better than I can. There we go. That's the bit we're after. That rubber cap. And that's in the end of there. Okay. And then we have to remind ourselves what those fixings are. I think, if I remember correctly, they're a Torx. It might be a Torx 50. Not a Torx 50. Torx 45. Okay. We'll just crack these off like that, and then before we take the caliper off, missed, there it is. So you can see this better than I can. Ow. Right, now before we undo that, we'll take this clip off of here, this clip here, because it's easier to do that when the caliper is still on the car. All right, we'll do that. Undo these. One, two. She's coming. There we go. There we go. Now these pads aren't completely worn out, but they're very close. You can see that. We're down to the last couple of millimeters on that side. Oh, in fact the pad is starting to break up just in there. So although we've got maybe 1/8 of an inch, 3-4 mil on there, we're down to about a 1/16 on this side. And similarly for the outside pad, not as badly worn, but we'll change them both anyway. The caliper itself looks to be in good order. The hose is fine. So we'll get our pusher. What have I done with it? Don't you just hate it when this happens? You know, you kind of think you know where everything is. The very tool you need is hiding. I had it here only 15 minutes ago. See, it's one of the things you should always do before you start a job is make sure you've got all the tools. And so before I started this job, I made sure I had all the tools, and now I can't find them. Maybe if I tidied up my workshop, I'd find it. I remember what I did. Right. One of them, one of them, one of them. And back goes the piston. So if you've not seen this done before, if you were to go on Amazon or somewhere like that, you'll find that you can buy a kit that looks like this. It has compressors and various adapters for all the different types of pad and piston face that you're likely to come across. This costs about £18. I'll put a link for it in the description of this YouTube video, and this is how you put it together. So you've got a spreader pad there, you've got you choose your suitable die to fit in the front of the piston, and then you just wind it in, and as you wind it in, it pushes that back. Simple as that. These are the two bolts that I took out the back. They're Torx 45s in them, and the little shoulder I was talking about, you get a screwdriver behind it so you can push it back, and the rubber bits, they just slide in and out of that, and they're a bit gummy, so they should slide freely because that's how the caliper slides this way to correctly center itself. And if they're not sliding freely, then your pads wear unevenly, and I've got a bit of uneven pad wear. So before that is go back in, we'll just grease them all up. We use some high temperature grease, we use copper slip, and that will ensure that next time we do this, everything is working as it should be. Let's go and grab the copper slip because we're pretty much ready to put it back together again. Just check your pads, you see, old, new, make sure you've got the right pads, always a good idea. Undo that, take it off. We've got two pads here, and there we go. You see this one's got a clip on it and this one hasn't. The clip goes inside the piston. Now the clip goes inside the piston, not the flat side. And just because I'm old school and I like to make my life easy in future, I always wipe some copper slip on all the surfaces that would otherwise be seizing surfaces. It helps the longevity of the components, and it also makes it easier when you have to take it apart at some point in the future. So that one then pops back in there and clips into the front of the piston, and the other one will just sit back against the back face of the caliper. The other thing about copper slip glue, copper slip grease, is it conducts heat, and that's particularly important with brakes, because your brakes convert your moving energy into heat. They shouldn't turn it into noise, although some cars do. But yeah, they should turn all your rotational energy that your car's got into, and that then goes there, like that. Now obviously we're still short of the two bolts, and I said I'd give them a quick clean up before they go in, and again we'll use copper slip on them. But I don't know if you can see, I'll see if I can show you, just on that face there, there's an enamel build up. It's kind of shiny at one end, and there's an enamel build up at that end, and we need to just clean that off. I've got a bit of Scotch-Brite now, a bit of 800 grit Scotch-Brite. Make it shiny, and then we'll copper slip it, and then we'll know that A, it's going to go together properly, and B, it's going to continue to slide. The copper slip is a high temperature grease as well, of course, so the heat that the brakes build up is not going to affect them in the same way. It's not going to boil the grease off. This caliper was red once. I think it's one of the original calipers. Bit of copper slip on the thread, bit of copper slip down the body of it. Stick it on the end of the tool, slide them in the hole. Oh, there's a bucket to get your hands around it. Here we go. Yeah, that's a bit. So we'll just do that one and that one. Right. Almost there. Okay, that's both of them. There's probably a torque setting for this. And I think it's about there. Okay, put the two bungs back in the end of the rubber bits. That just keeps the muck out the end of that bolt, stops them from seizing up prematurely, and also means that you don't have to dig all the muck out to get the tool in there to undo them next time. So that's it. Caliper back together with new pads in. And the other side's the same. I hope that was helpful. One thing you must remember to do before you drive anywhere after replacing the pads, remember you push the pistons back. You absolutely must pump the pedal, the brake pedal. Start the engine, pump the brake pedal, because otherwise you'll bang it in reverse, reverse out your garage, and drive straight into your wife's car. Don't do what I do. Do what I say. That's it for now. Watch me in the next video, which might be up there or there somewhere, where we're doing the rear pads. That's it from Steve Still for now. Bye. Thanks for watching. So I can't reach.